Good. Then you guys can work together on stuff. So that's good. All right, Natalie, go ahead and take Dason then. I'll work with these guys. You guys will be up here. They're going to be on that side. Hey, girls, we're going to be up here. They'll be in that back side. So. All right. Do you guys need to stretch or warm up at all? Or you guys feel pretty? You guys are good? Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to work on some variations of some of the ones that we already know. So Isaiah, come here. So go ahead and face each other real quick. And 치료 경례. All right, 준비. All right, so from here, when your opponent punches, right? So who's gonna punch? It doesn't matter. Okay, so let's do it this way. So she's gonna do it that way. I'm gonna go this side. All right. So what you're going to do, all right? I don't know if you remember this one, right? You step in with the knife hand block, spear thrust, pull it back, back fist. Okay. So from here, you step into a back stance, knife hand block. Then you shift into front stance, upset spear thrust. Then you pull back, and then front side back fist. Okay. All right. So I'll do it for Victoria as well. So you punch, do the same thing. So I step in with the left leg, knife hand block. Then upset spear thrust. So what this is basically a groin strike with the open hand. Yeah. And then back fist to the nose. Okay, so you're stepping in. So normally we want to try to step back to try to create space. Occasionally, think about it this way. You're up against the wall. You can't move back, right? So the only other option is to step in. You're going to step in with your left leg. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. So it's this motion. So once you block, 2, right? It's you know it's kind of like a low punch motion, but with an open hand. 1, pull it back, 2. So this is like a variation on number 4. No, because number 4 because number 4 we step in with the right leg, right? So this one, yeah. 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 Yeah, this one's just a separate one in itself. All right, let's try it again. So go ahead and practice that a couple times. I'm gonna, oh yeah. 1, 2. Pull back, 2. Yep. So when you come forward, assist that back fist or that back fist strike. So once you come back here, 2, 3. Okay. Kind of, but it's just more of an assistance so it doesn't drop. All right, so that from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, you don't drop it down, keep it up so you can make sure that you hit the nose, right? Because you do a back fist to the chest, it's okay. It's not as bad, but a lot more damage hitting the nose, right? That's why we want to assist it so that it doesn't drop. Because the tendency is a lot of times, especially when you start to rush and do things, right? Sometimes right? Sometimes like in Taekwondo Ojang, right? We do back fists like this, right? When we're supposed to be up here. So, okay. Go and practice a few times. Make sure you guys got it. Yeah. Okay. All right. Now step in with that left leg. 1. Yep. Even if you step on the outside, that's okay too. It doesn't really matter which side you step on, because the only time your footwork is important, takedowns, right? Because depending on which way you're going to take them down is going to be determined on where you put your foot. Yeah. Blue belt. You got a little bit. Okay. All right, you guys good with that one? Okay, let's move on. All right, so next one. Okay, from here, you ready, Miss Victoria? okay? From here, okay? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna step into a front stance. We're gonna do a wrap, basically, an arm wrap here. 1, and then we're gonna bring the right leg behind, and 2, okay? So what the arm wrap does is it locks the hand so that he's like this. And then when I turn, I put pressure on his elbow as I spin to the back, to the elbow strike. Now the elbow strike can go anywhere, right? Depending on the height, right? You can go straight into the back, right? Trying to use the point of your elbow going into the back, okay? I wouldn't recommend the head. And the only reason why I say that is the head's kind of hard, right? And you got a small bone in the elbow versus pretty thick skull. So if you're gonna go anywhere, go to the neck. So when you come around, hit the back of the neck. But obviously we're not hitting each other, but that's where you wanna aim, okay? All right, so, yeah. Yeah, so you wanna make sure, this is important though, right? You have to make sure you step front stance kind of forward, and then you come around the outside, because this is a dodge, because we're not doing anything. If he's punching as fast as he can, right? And I just do this, I'm gonna get hit. You see what I'm saying? Right? Because that line of force is right there. So, but if I come here, you see how I dodge, right? So he's here, and then I can wrap, and then I spin, boom. Okay? All right, try that one, work through that a couple times. One more time. Boom. Yeah, step on the outside wide, because that's your side step. 1, yep, 2, 3. So now when you wrap though, you want to make sure when you wrap here, right? That way she can't release. Because then here, now she feels this. She feels this, and then what I'm actually doing is I'm gonna keep turning, and I'm gonna do this, and that's where the out, right? Because the elbow's going in the wrong direction. Okay. All right. So when you're doing this, just go slow. That's the thing. I want you to go slow, and then 2. Right. This is all we're trying to do. Demonstrate good technique. Right. Tell the story. Tell the story. Don't just read me the story. Right. Don't be all like, okay, yeah. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's okay to start. Oh, it's like, oh, I kind of got the movement. Okay, I'll do this. As I get better with it, now I start thinking about stances. Boom, right? Okay. Because the other thing is, right, you need to know what stance is, because why? What happens if I ask you to teach that one to someone? You're going to teach them wrong. Right? Yeah, you're going to teach them wrong, or it's going to look wrong, right? And then I'm going to go, hey, who taught that to you? And he's going to go, oh, yeah, Addie taught it to me. All right. And then I'm going to come to you and say, Addie, why'd you teach him that? That doesn't look right. All right. So either he lied and made you look bad, or he's telling the truth. All right. Okay, got it. Right. So you have to realize that whenever people are confronted with, hey, you're doing something wrong, they get scared, they panic. And then so it's she told me wrong. Right. So that's the way it happens. So that's why you want to make sure that when you're teaching it, you teach properly, right? And if you're not sure, right, then ask the question. It's like, hey, I don't know, I'm not sure, right? So, okay, yeah, work through that a couple times. Just get comfortable with that movement. Yep. So yeah, you want to wrap. Yeah, you want to wrap it. So. Mm-hmm. And you see how smooth and fast that was, right? That's eventually where we want to get to, where it's very fluid, but not out of control where you're, right? Yeah, right? Because she likes to lean, right? That's the only reason why, right? If she stands upright, she's going to be just fine. Okay? Hmm. All right. Okay, so now another one. This one's a little tricky, okay? But a lot of people like this, right? So from here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna step in with a back stance. I'm gonna do a palm block here. I'm gonna do something called a bow wrist, right? What I'm doing is I'm gonna put my hand like a knife hand, but I'm gonna tuck my thumb in, okay? So what I'm gonna do is, what it does, I'm gonna attack the elbow. And you see how it causes his elbow to bend? Once it bends, I slide my other foot in and I step in this way. And I bring him down. Boom. Okay? Hammer fist. All right? So here's the thing. Okay? So what we're doing is we're blocking. We're coming in. You see? Then, yep. So you have to make sure you have to keep the hand there. Yep. So once the elbow bends, then you have to shoot the left arm through. 2, right? Boom. You can also do it you can add a knee strike to it. So once you get the hammer fist down, boom, bam. Add insult to injury. All right? So it's important. Okay, it's important here. So here, when I get the bow wrist, you see how it bends? You have to keep contact here. Bow wrist, and then you slide right through his armpit. Here, go to the shoulder and then pull down. That way it kind of traps his arm. All right? Then you can do your hammer fist there. Okay? All right? So I'll just have you attack, and then so you can see as well. So here, palm, bow wrist, and then slide through, 2, yep, and then 3, yep. So the thing about that is once you slide through, then you're going to step in. You're going to be really close. Okay, so when I step in here, when I'm here and I step in, you see how close I am here? Boom, this way. All right? Okay. All right, so 1, 2, slide through, 3. There you go. Okay, tackling each other, I see. All right, go ahead and work through that a couple of times. Work through those 3 that we just did. Work through those, okay? 1, 2. Nope. Okay, let's try it again. So do the palm block. 1, and then the bow wrist. Boom. So here, boom. Okay? You see? Boom. Okay, try it again. 1. 2. Good. Boom. Yeah, it's hard, right? So once you're here, boom, here. So once you hit this and you cause that bend there, then you have to slide here, right? You'll pull this other one down this way. 1, 2. All right, bam, right there. So here, so watch. I'm gonna let her do it to me. So watch, because I want you guys to see. So here, 1. So when you come in here, you see. So when you hit this crease, that's the key. You have to hit the crease here, and see that causes the bend. Now you can slide in here. See this way? Yep. And then yeah. So now from here, so the other thing here is once I'm in the crease here and I come here, right? So you see how I forced you down because why? I lifted my elbow and I brought my hand down. I did this motion. Okay, so when you're bent here, so same thing here. When you're bent and I've got you here, you see? If I lift my elbow and push my hand down, forces you lower. Okay, so it's this motion. Okay? No, not this. This. You have to lift the elbow. Yeah. Okay, so watch. I want you to do it. So do the block. 1. So here, yep. So now, right, you slide through here. Now lift your elbow and push down. You see? That forces me down. And then from there, step in. Yeah, step in and boom. There you go. Boom. Okay? Yeah. Yeah. Outside. Outside's better. Outside's better. Because then that gives that. Because then, yeah, wider stance, and then gives you room here when you're in here close. Get that strength, right? Because the other thing is too, what you could do from there is once you're here, right, you can knee strike. Oops, sorry. You can do your knee strike there, right? Okay, because their head's down low. So you can just kind of as you're stepping in, you can knee strike it, and then you can hammer fist them too. Okay? All right, so go ahead and work through that. It takes a little bit of practice to get used to this. Nope. 1, 2. She's like, "Grr." Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when you're working with someone, right? Okay. There you go. Good. All right. What happens a lot of times is as you're watching and you're working with someone, you should be able to react to help them, right? Because it does him no good for practicing purposes. Go ahead and do it. All right. If I'm a jerk about this, right? So go ahead. Now do it. Go. All right. You see, I'm not helping him, right? So I have to kind of play along, right? 1, right? And then to kind of help him through, right? It's the same thing, right? If you're doing it, you see, I can be a jerk about it, right? Right? Or I could play along and say, hey, see, and give you a little bit, boom, right? Right? So what it is right, it gives you that confidence knowing, okay, this is the way the technique should be, right? And it should be fluid, right? We don't want it to be, and doing all of that, right? Keep it 1, 2, slide 3, right? Okay. All right. So go ahead and, like I said, practice those 3 that we just kind of did. The block grabs, this one, right? Okay. The elbow lock, and then that one. Okay. There you go. See? Yeah. Huh? Just Dason, elbow. Just pull your elbow across. Instead of doing this, just pull across. I know, but still, he needs to. He's not doing it right because it's too hard for him. He doesn't have a lot of arm strength. Huh? I know that, but right? Yeah, he needs to work on this part here. All right. And pull it back, and then forward. Yep. So, no, you start in back stance, shift in the front stance, pull it back, and then shift back in the front stance. Okay. Yeah, it is, right? Because 1, 2, it's just like in your pumse. It's the same motion, right? 1, slide forward, pull it back, and then back forward. No, I mean, we just need to get him. Yeah, just to get that. And then once he takes it off, then it'll. Okay. So you're gonna step out with your left leg, right? And then do your wrap and then spin on that left leg. Yeah, all the way around. Boom. There you go. Yeah, don't adjust. So once you step out here, don't adjust. Because if you go really wide, that's okay too, right? Because you have all that control. Boom, right? You can get them off balance. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yep. So if you look at any pumse that you've done, you can try the same thing. It's like, okay, oh, let me do this one, right? 1, 2. All right. All right. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Now keep in mind that some of these you have to understand, right? When we're doing these upward blocks, right? If I'm doing a middle punch and you're doing a high block, right? You see what happens? You see what happens? Okay. You would not try to lift up someone that's punching you at chest level. Okay. Because why, right? You're slow, boom, you're going to get caught. Somewhere along it, you'll get caught, right? So now if I'm going high, then yes. High, it's different. Okay. So that's the thing, right? So if they're showing you a high punch, then yes, then you can do that high block. Because then even if it's still moving forward, right? Right? There's nothing. Once it's above your head, it's not going to hit anything. The problem, right? Yeah, but once again, right? You're going to be doing something, right, off of the block, right? So by that time, boom, yeah. So you're going to be much quicker. So the thing about it is you have to understand, okay, anytime we do these kind of things, right? It's usually, your attacks aren't always going to be punches. Right? It could be this. Right? I could have a weapon. I could have a knife. Right? And I can come this way. Same thing. We have to learn to use that high block, right? So that it doesn't come down on us, right? Right? And then you got to be able to attack right away. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So right now we teach you punching because why? Right? Punching's easy to block. It teaches you how to block, where to block, and all of that. When you get to that black belt level, then we change it. Okay? Right? We incorporate. Okay, now we have a weapon. So now it's not a punch. Now it's someone coming this way, someone trying to slash across. So now you have to be able to place where that block needs to be. It's the aim portion. Yeah, right? It's what we call parrying, right? Right? So if you see here, can you redirect my punch if I'm going here? That's a parry. Okay? Right? So if you know where it's at, you can parry. If you know where it's at, you can parry. Right? You know where the target is. And that's why do we do 3-step the way we do it? You get time to think about what you want to do. What you want to do. Now you counter and you do it. Okay? Now we do 1-steps. Right? What you're going to do right away. You have to think quicker. Yeah, right? And then, so what do we do, right? At the blue belt level, now we incorporate, hey, how do you take someone to the ground? Right? And then at the red belt levels, now we start thinking about, okay, what happens if someone grabs you? Someone invades your personal space. What are you going to do? Okay? Right? And then at that black belt level, now we make everything better, right? We sell it, right? It's just like Pumse, right? Okay, everyone can do Kiba Nerchang, but who can sell it? Who can really sell Kiba Nerchang? You know what I'm saying, right? Right? Because here, right? This is not really selling, right? Anyone can do this. I can teach anyone off the street to do this. What makes your Kiba Nerchang different than her Kiba Nerchang, right? Considering that you've been training longer than she has. So in theory, yours should be better than hers, correct? Right? And vice versa, right? Same thing, right? Mine should be better. Right? It should be. It's not always the case, right? Right? My kicks aren't as high as Natalie's. My kicks aren't as good as Natalie's. All right? So there are things, right? some things are hard to do, right? So whatever it is, we have to learn to adapt. And okay, if it's not that good, that's okay, right? As long as we understand the technique and can do the technique, right? Doesn't matter if you kick up here or kick up here, it doesn't matter, right? But you demonstrate your knowledge, right? Your experience through how well you do things, right? So everyone was, right? Everyone. Yeah. And this is the same thing. It's the same process here, right? Going through all of this one steps, right? Yeah, we can go back and do the first one, right? Boom. And we talked about this, right? Where are we blocking now? Are you blocking the fist? Are you blocking the forearm? Are you blocking the elbow? Yeah, that's right. You should be blocking the elbow, right? You should be blocking the elbow, right? Because in reality, right, if you block the fist or the forearm, now if you block now block the elbow, see? See now look at how much more target here. Here, right? If you block in the wrong area here, right? Now I can come back to you, right? If I needed to. But if you get me going this way here, see? The time it takes me to come back here, you've already hit me. Okay? So that's where it becomes more critical, because now we start thinking this is what leads to self-defense, right? What happens when you're out on the street? What happens if some young man thinks that he can come up and start to do something inappropriately to you? What can you do? What can you do to defend yourself, to protect yourself? Okay? That's where some of this comes in. What if they come lunging at you, right? You can do the same thing as here. What can you do when they punch? When they reach for you, you can do the same kind of technique, right? Because it's a reach is like a punch. Even if my hand's coming this way, then guess what? Boom, you should be blocking. Yeah. And then you do something, right? Yeah. Okay. So that makes sense? All right. So now let's do some ones with legs. Because one of the things for you, young ladies, right, is your legs are a lot stronger than your upper body. So if we can utilize our legs a little bit more, we're going to do a lot more damage than we are with our hands. Okay? So, right, what I like to do is, right, from here, we're going to what we're going to do is we're going to dodge. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sidestep. So when he punches with his right hand, I'm going to sidestep with my left. Okay? And then with my right leg, boom, I'm going to back kick him. All right? So you got different targets. So you can go right into the belly for back kick there, right? Okay? You can also go, right? If you wanted to, you can go boom right at the knee and destroy the knee. Right? And if you destroy the knee, they're not going to be able to chase you. Yeah. You can hit them, right? You can hit them in the gut. Boom, right? And they're going to fold over. But guess what? They're probably still going to be able to run after you, right? You just hope that you're faster, right? Okay? Yeah. So you want to make sure the thing about doing the reverse side kick is you need to make sure that you dodge enough and give yourself room to get extension. Okay? Because if you don't do that, if you get too close, then you see what happens here? I don't really get a kick in there. Okay? And the problem is also, too, that now at this point here, I'm also exposing my back to him. So if I'm slow, right, and I'm real close in here like this, guess what's going to happen? If I'm lifting, right, he can go after my standing leg, right? He can grab the back of my shirt and yank me down as my, right? So he's got all kinds of different attacks that he can do, right? So it's important, right? So when he does that, one, boom, right? You see how quick, right? You got to move, right? So you can't go, right? Mm-hmm. But you have to start slow. Yeah, you have to start slow and increase the speed. That's the other thing, right? You're not going to be able to just do this and do this, because chances are, one, right? Especially if they're not paying attention, guess what happens? They get hit. right? I don't know if you saw, right? Natalie got hit today working with Lucas, right? So Natalie wasn't really paying attention. She was just kind of doing this, and then she got hit, right? Instead of paying attention to what he's doing and being able to move or flinch or get herself out of the way so she didn't take the hit. See, that's the thing, is that a lot of times, right? Because we're not, oh yeah, I'm just punching, big deal. No, it's not. It is a big deal, right? You have to understand. You have to see what he's doing, he or she is doing, right? So that you can help them, one, and two, what happens if they're getting too close or whatever, right? It's like, hey, I have to adjust. Oh, they're kicking too close or whatever, right? Get out of the way, step back so I don't get accidentally kicked. All right. Okay, so once again, side step and then your reverse side. Boom. Okay. You can also do it as a reverse spinning hook kick. The only thing about that is, once again, the higher you kick, the longer it takes to hit your target. Okay. So it's not recommended to do that, right? From a practice, you can do it for practice, but from a practicality standpoint, if you had to choose between reverse side kick or reverse spinning hook kick, reverse side kick. You know what? If it's really doing something as fast as I can, boom, roundhouse kick, and I would step to the other side. Yeah. Okay. I'm just giving you different options. I'm giving you, let's say, a fancier option, right? Because, right, I can go here, I can go side kick, I can go roundhouse kick, right? Right. I can go hook kick, boom, right? I can do that, right? Once again, the higher I kick, the more time it takes, right? So even here, right? If I want to, boom, I can go right at his inside thigh, right there, right? Go for the thigh, all right? So, all right. So let's go ahead and practice stepping across and doing your back kick motion, and then just stepping to the side and doing your lead legs kick. Okay. So this is where, side stepping elbow motion. It's the same thing. Side step, and then instead of elbow, we're using our leg. You can, yep. Yeah, the only thing about that is you have to be pretty agile. And the reason for that is because why? Right? When I go through with my elbow, boom, here, okay? If I do a reverse side kick, you see, I'm not going to hit him. I have to learn to hook my back kick. It's like a reverse spinning hook kick, but not. Boom. All right? Because basically what's going to happen is that once I'm in close enough and I spin on him, here, boom, here, then I'm going to extend. So I'm kind of hooking, into it, and then boom. Okay. We do this technique like in sparring when we were free sparring. Like when he throws a reverse, or when he throws a roundhouse kick, we'll switch, right? My counter for is reverse side kick. But see, if I throw a reverse side kick this true way, I miss him, right? All right. Now, if I throw it the way I'm supposed to, boom. You see what happened? Right? So that's the same thing, right? So you do the elbow strike, and then you got to do that same motion. You got to get him as far away from you. Okay? But see, if you want to use your leg, then you don't have an elbow. Okay? See, right? I can step here. I can go real wide and do this. Yeah, and do reverse side kick, but I won't have an elbow. So if I want an elbow, boom, I do the elbow, then it's going to be close in quarter. All right? Okay, so, all right. So work on those just a little bit. Okay? Why are you stepping so high? Ooh. Yeah. Boom. There you go. Yeah. Ooh. Spin hook. Try it again. Oh, yeah. Wow. Hook kick. Oh, yeah. Wow. Yeah, so you got to just get used to doing the reverse side kick first. All right. Because a part of this, you have to be extremely flexible to get that high kick. All right, to get that. So you have to be able to lift your knee up quickly. So a lot of times people don't. So when you're throwing reverse, after you test and you start working on the reverse spinning hook kick, you have to understand that basically when you're kicking, you have to lift and kick at the exact same time. Okay? You don't turn and then lift and then kick. It doesn't work that way. You're going to turn, lift, and kick all at once together. Boom, this motion there. Okay? Mm-hmm. So the higher you want it, the key is the higher you want to kick, you need to lift your knee up. Okay? You don't want to do what Miss Addie does, which is lean. Okay? To kick high, you don't want to do this. Okay? Because no. What usually happens, it's not that you don't fall, right? You only fall if you don't counterbalance. Okay? You fall because when you lean, you lose your power because all your energy is going in the opposite direction of where it should be going. Okay? I want my energy to go this way, right? Up here. But if I lean to get up there, you see what happens? It's falling back away from the target. Okay? So the higher we can get that knee, the better our chances of getting a higher kick. Okay? Well, once again, too, different body types have to adjust too. Right? You're not going to be able to kick like Natalie, unfortunately, until we slim down. Right? We slim everything down because then you can adjust your body more accordingly. Same thing. So like for you, you can do that. She can't kick like you because it gets stuck. Yeah, it gets stuck a little bit. So you slim down, then you can do things a little bit more differently. But the key here is just like anything else, though. You have the ability to kick higher based off of how high you can get that knee up. Boom. Yeah, see? Yep. Right? Here, boom. You see? Here, now it's higher. Okay? So, all right. Go ahead and work through those kick ones a few more times. Make sure you got them. Yeah. Boom. Yep. Oh. Let's try other side. Yeah. Uh-huh, see? Don't kill unless you're ready. Huh. What are you doing? I want to see this side. Huh. Oh. Huh. Okay. It's all right. So, for the remainder of the class, go ahead and work on those hand ones that we did earlier, and then the leg ones. So, okay, and that hopefully that adds a few more to your repertoire. Once again, it's just right. You do this block, that's one. You do this block, that's one. You do this block, that's another one. Mm-hmm. You can do it. Yep. You can do any block. The concept here is to understand is you either have to block and strike or you have to dodge and strike. You block, you can block and you can dodge and block and strike too. Okay. But there's always going to be either at least two of the following, right? A block, a dodge, and a strike. All right. So you're either blocking or dodging or doing both, and then you're striking with your leg or your hand, whatever it is. Okay? So when it comes time for testing, don't do this. Go ahead. All right? Oh, yeah. And then he does it again. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You know what I'm saying? No. But you see what I'm doing, right? Right? Oh, yeah, right? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You see what I'm doing? right? I'm using the same block, right? Right? Show your diversity. Show what you know, right? So show different things. Show boom, right? Or if I tell you, okay, do hand only, right? Hand technique only. Okay, then yes, this is a hand only, right? Don't do the same motion again. Second time, maybe do it with this, you know? Boom, right? Do this. 1, 2, 3. All right. Do this. Oh, sorry, the hand only. All right. But think about trying not to do the same style of yeah. You can come back to it later, right? Do a couple other ones and then come back to it and do something different. That's fine. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Okay. All right. Well, you got a few minutes, so go ahead and kind of hit them all. Make sure you got them. Okay. Yep. So if you can, try to move that right leg in. Once you kind of slither the hand in, get ready to pull down, step in. Step in with the right leg. Mm-hmm. Boom. Yep. Yeah. So you just have to remember, because on that particular one, once again, the only strike you're doing is this strike, right? You hit it hard enough, all it really does is it just gives her just a little jerk. It doesn't damage her or anything. It just gives you that bend here. So if you go too slow, right, she's going to be mad that you hit her in the funny bone, retaliation kind of thing, right? So that's where it's important, where you slide, you got to move quickly. Boom, too, right? And be ready to do your technique. So the slower, and once again, you start slow and you gradually work up that speed. Okay? Yep. 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 That's your foundation. Yep. Okay. Go ahead and hit each of them one time. Each of those one time, and then you guys are done. Okay? I'm going to dismiss these guys, though. All right. Good job, you guys. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow. Good job.